Alright, hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. It's been a bit, had some family ordeals and such that still been taken care of over throughout the holidays. Some other unexpected, unfortunate things have come up and so on and so forth. But anyway, here we are. It has been a while indeed, so let's go ahead and get into it right now. I'm going to try to cover all the bases here as much as I can. What I plan on doing here with some videos that are going to take some time to do. But first and foremost, let's talk about the update to the game for the patch notes. Let's get this underway here, right? Okay, so I have both the notes up, and I'll talk about the Chinese notes in a minute. They'll go into a little bit more detail, only on one thing. For the most part, they did a pretty good job, and there isn't that, honestly, unfortunately, not that much to talk about here in, as what we would like to see, considering they've been on holiday and just basically, you know, effed off for a long time, it seems. And with Chinese New Year's coming up, as far as NetEase goes, they're probably going to be disappearing for a time as well again. So with their skeleton crew, that they have remained onto the game because, you know, most of their focus is on Marvel Rivals and et cetera, and other games. But anyway, yeah, that's a little here and there. We have a new season 35 battle pass coming up. Before that goes on, make sure you're keeping tabs on our current one. I mean, what I do, I've already claimed for the start of this week to get the most benefit out of the experience. I claim everything on Monday, and I've already done so. So here we go. I'm going to let this stuff build up again because it ends in 9 days as of this recording. So I have until the reset of next week before this will restart again. And if you don't claim everything before the battle pass itself ends, then you will lose whatever you have remaining in here. So, but to get the most bang for the buck, I always claim everything on a Monday. All right, so there's plenty of time left. But just as a little side note, since they talked about a new battle pass upcoming here. All right. So there's that. Let me see what else is good here. Anything that really stood out? Not so much. Cosmetics lost to time have reemerged, so you can go back and get some of the previous ones. Again, cosmetics is always kind of like a fickle issue for a lot of players, and I understand it because some of them were well, actually, I don't want to say some. Most of them, the vast majority of you seem to be in agreement, are pretty much considering most of those battle pass ones, the empowered ones anyway, pretty much kind of meh. And even some of the Phantom Market expensive ones were kind of whatever. But anyway, all right. Now here's the kicker first and foremost here with the modified legendary gem drop table. What is this? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and compare both sides here first. But what does this mean exactly? Well, let's go to the Elder Rift itself here. Now, I only have, as of this recording, I only have 2 days and 9 hours remaining on the new Legendary Gem Drop, which I might run, actually, at least one more stack of 10 as a free-to-play, just to try and see if I can get one copy. Now, the other thing to this is, in 2 days, 9 hours, of course, this is when the update is going to happen for the game, for the new update, anyway, and they're modifying the drop table for the standard drop. They're removing certain ones from the list based on what they said anyway, based on, go back here, based on from the modified drop tables that they put into the game so far. They've collected that data and they've looked at the ones that the players didn't choose, so, which is fine, but I mean, they completely removed them from the drop table selection anyway. Now, I think there might still be a chance for them to drop, but also they are mostly just the 1 and 2 star gems. I don't know if they had made the adjustments to the 5 stars or not. That would be pretty terrible if they did. But yet at the same time, kind of not, I guess, because there are some 5 stars that are completely useless. But they removed them, and you can still craft them, however, in the 1 and 2 star gems, which I think, honestly, is probably a better thing, because we all know there are certain ones that we just do not use at all. So that's what they're referring to here. So they're going to change that here. We'll just have to basically see how it goes on the day of the patch update this week. and kind of play it by ear. But I think it's probably a better thing overall. Now, a lot of people have said, of course, to, you know, fix some of the other gems that we've kind of left in the dust and bring them up to spec again, and so on and so forth. But they're not going to do that. Their complete MO has always been just they put blinders on and they just push on, push on, push on. They very rarely, if at all, ever, unless it breaks the game entirely, will they ever go back and fix anything or change anything from previous. They are just always move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward. Don't look back kind of ordeal, which is good and bad. But anyway, that's that for that. That's the big to-do about this major update. Well, this whole update basically is the biggest thing that stands out the most, I do believe, is the change to the Elder Rifts, because, hey, the legendary gems are pretty much the bulk of what the game is about. Okay. Challenge dungeons. Now, here's a good thing about the challenge dungeons. Go ahead and close this now. Okay. There we go. The challenge dungeons are receiving a couple changes, which is good. The sacrificial power has been very, very, I think it's overtuned, and I still think it is, even with this one saying, oh, they're going to reduce life costs from 10% to 8%. A 10% seemed more than 10%. You cast like one ability and it's like, oh, there goes like a quarter of my health. At least that's what it felt like. So I don't know where they're getting the 10% from, but it's an 8% reduction. We'll see how that plays out when, again, this goes live. So kind of looking forward to that. What else we got? The Conjure, reduced duration from 12 to 6 seconds, increased the doppelganger damage. So just be aware. Just be aware. Reduce the duration, but they increased the damage. So, yeah. And you can no longer follow other players while inside challenge dungeons. Thank you. Okay, this one is good. I'll agree, because there have been far too many leechers. And there have been a lot. I've had my personal experience as well. When doing challenge dungeons, sometimes you'll have players that indeed just do that. They'll sit at the start, they'll try to leech, or they might follow you around, or they'll stand off to the side away from whatever they can and just have you do most of the work. And then some of those, they have a boss where it will go enraged after a certain amount of time because people are not contributing. That's probably why that's been put in there. So you all have to contribute when you're in a challenge dungeon, please. And thank you. Okay? Just be respectful to your party members and everybody across the board. That should be, you know, whatever. All right. Spectral allies. We've adjusted the way in which you utilize spectral allies. Now, they don't say much here in the Blizzard notes. They don't really say too much in the Chinese notes, but we're going to go over that real quick. Oh, yeah, I need to go back to the Chinese notes anyway, so let's go ahead and bring these ones up. Put these up over here. Okay. So this goes into more detail about the legendary gems. Let me go ahead and close the Blizzard notes while we're covering this. All right. This goes into a little bit more detail, as you can see here, and why they said they removed certain items, or the legendary gems, from the standard drop library. Okay, this is based on the selection of gem custom libraries in recent versions. So that's by what we chose as the players. Players will find it easier to obtain popular legendary gems. The list of gems that have been removed from the standard drop library is as follows. The maximum star rating is 5 stars. So here's, yeah, they did remove some 5 stars. So here's the ones they removed. Zwenson's, Ario's Will. I'm guessing that's the, what, Concentrated Will? Is that the dash one? They really removed that one. They removed, looks like Heartfire. Is that Hellfire? Did they remove Hellfire? Forgive me, this is Google translated, of course. So Phoenix Ashes says Phoenix Ashes. The Gargoyle Stone. I hope that's not chipstone. That's gonna kind of suck because people have been using that a lot more recently. And the Wolf's Whisper. I hope that's not the Wolfbane or whatever. So that's gonna be kind of an issue if they removed all of those. But I don't know. Like I said, we'll have to see on the day of here and really test it out officially. But anyway, 2-star legendary gems, Unity, Battle Guard, Follower. Oh wow, the Follower 2-star. And Grin of the Betrayer. That might be the backstab one. Yeah. So there's that for the 2-star. Again, though, and then the 1-stars, as you can see here in the screen, I'm not going to read them all off. It's those one, yeah, Zodstone, Echo, is that chain? Oh, the chain one, really? Okay. Well, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Unyielding Eye. Okay, yeah. In addition, adventurers who are still cultivating these gems don't have to worry. The legendary gems that have been removed from the standard drop library can be added back to the drop library by self-selection, and a maximum of 1 gem of each star level can be selected. So, okay, if there's any one of these in particular that you really, really are still wanting to get and go after, that's what that means. So I'm glad they put this. This is in the Chinese notes. They go into a lot more detail, and I appreciate that for that, even though it is Google translated roughly, but still nonetheless. So yeah, if any of these that you really are still going after, you can at least add 1 more to your personalized drop table. And maybe they might take that data collection continuing on forward and make some adjustments again. So anyway, and then note, of course, these gems can still be obtained through crafting and are not affected. Right, so there you go. That's more in-depth on that. Now there was another thing here. Alright, so in regards to the Spectral allies here, we got a little thing. Blizzard Notes just says we've adjusted the way in which you utilize them, and that's it. Making them more intuitive, okay? So then on the other side here, the team difficulty optimization. This is for team assistance robots, which is the Spectral allies. Have been added to the Wild Common, which is probably the random dungeons, the regular random dungeons, of course, the standard, of Hell and Normal difficulty. So that for you up-and-comer new players and whatever else, that should help move things along a little bit more considerably for you. And it also says here, use team assistance to clear the dungeon to obtain multiple treasure chest rewards and complete team activity tasks. So I don't know if that means party gems, which would be awesome. And honestly, put that in on every game mode. If we don't want to run with other players, hey, put that in. I'll run with bots. It's fine. And if I can get party gems, that's fine too. I'll, and then, because that means, well, actually, I've noticed the party gems lately, for me anyway, have been really, really bad. The drop rate, anyway. It takes forever, it seems, when I'm running like dungeons. Terra Rifts, I have a whole other video. I'm going to discuss that kind of ordeal and what I think of it. So I'll save that for now. But yeah, it seems like the drop rate on the normal party gems have been absolutely terrible, and they take forever. And then sometimes they'll get hung up. It's like they get hung up in the system. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you should be getting some here some point soon, but we're just going to hold on to them for a while for whatever reason. Literally hung up. And then like a couple more runs after that, all of a sudden you're just like, you see in the party menu, the party chat or whatever, you see, oh, you've gotten this gem, you gotten this gem, this gem, this gem. It's like, oh, finally, you've had them hung up for so long, you're finally giving them to me. I don't know what kind of hitch in the system that is, but if you have noticed that, let me know in the comments and what you think of it. If you've had that happen to you, that's been my experience a lot when it comes to the party gems. Daily party gems, that is. But anyway, there's that for the more in-depth discussion about what they changed to the Spectral allies. Now, like I said, if you can get that team activity tasks and whatever else and treasure chests, rewards and so on and so forth, hey, put it in all the difficulties. Don't hold out on us. Just do it now and be done with it, right? Okay, so let's see what else we got. Increase inventory stack increase. It's nothing major. It's just the stupid stuff that we pretty much are just forgettable and just builds up. So whatever. Battleground, the adjusting scoring has been included to instances where a teammate benefits from buffs throughout active skills. So it's whatever. I don't really think that's gonna really affect much. And honestly, the extra Battleground scoring with the badges and stuff, since their last adjustment, is kind of skewered anyway. So it's whatever. I'm not putting too much stock into that. See, dungeons. Those in a party who exit a dungeon, including within a minute of starting, will be unable to join a new party for a short period of time. That's pretty good for people that just want to screw people's runs for parties of 4. And oh, this was kind of nice though. They reduced the waiting time at certain checkpoints. You know, when you're on the elevator or what have you, to one the raft, waiting for people to show up. They reduced it from 15 seconds to 8 seconds. So yeah, speed things along. Thank you very much. Okay. Returning events. We're not even gonna go over that, except for everybody's favorite right here, Survivor's Bane. Yes, please. Leave it in permanently. And then the pain point returns yet again with the Winds of Fortune limited time event. Yeah. Now, here's the caveat on this one. The last couple times we've had it, it wasn't too terrible. It ran for 24 hours, that kind of thing, which I think is still in effect on this one. Yeah, it is. 24-hour buff. The funny thing is, they already had a double drop event in the China servers from the 6th to the 7th. Well, actually, as of this recording. They already had their day of double drop, which they get like clockwork. Global, we do not. That's just what it is. So they already had a double drop event, so to speak, but there's also this one, which is the Winds of Fortune for everybody across the board. So they'll be getting a second one, technically. Now, the problem with this one this time around here is there are certain things, of course, that cannot be doubled. Let's see here. During Winds of Fortune, the player... Okay, 4-player party normal gem bonus drop will be doubled and unaffected by the daily cap. And only the first 12 common gems will be tradable. Okay, well, that's fine, but we just want our gems. So, again, the way to optimize this, of course, to get the most out of your double daily party gems, anyway, is to pop this when you know you got plenty of time, like in between reset, and make sure that 24-hour span will carry over, so you can at least get in your party gems twice, double, in 2 days. So, there you go. That's the best way to go about approaching that one, as I've said before. But here's the part that sucks this time around. There is here it is. Note, during this limited time event, Battle Pass will not be... Okay, and the weekly limit on Battle Pass points will not change. Additionally, there are limits to each item that can be earned in duplicate quantities. So they put a limit on it again, and I think that refers to like legendary items and the like. We had this one before where it's like it shows a certain percentage of which you've accumulated double drops. And then once you reach the 100% on that particular item, which of course for most cases we're going to be looking at legendaries, it's going to cap out, and it's going to cap out fast. So they put that back in. So that's the caveat this time around, and it sucks, honestly. So, of course, they always got to keep tweaking with it and keep making it more terrible, which is why we look at this and kind of groan anymore and be like, come on, man. Like, seriously? Enough's enough. Just let us have the stuff. Anyway. And then the usual fare, rest of the stuff here, and bug fixes. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Bug fixes. Ha-ha! But there you go. I know I rambled on, as I often do, as much as I can. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What's upcoming? Nothing too, obviously, overly major, but the change to the drop table or the legendary gems. What do you think? I think it's pretty much on the up and up as far as most of us are concerned, considering they won't be changing anything about, you know, going back and fixing the ones that people don't even use, so on and so forth. So that's it's going to be always how they operate. So don't expect them to change that anytime soon, or if at all ever, in all of their games and how they make them. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm probably going to run one more time, like I said, a 10 stack here. The Mirror Jewel event is still up in the air. A lot of people, it's been rumored saying possibly in the start of February. That might be around the Chinese New Year time. I forget when it falls this year. But nonetheless, yeah, I don't know. They get theirs, I think, like clockwork at the start of every month. But the global, it's kind of a crapshoot, as it always is. And as far as like the other videos I'm wanting to try to put out here, I've been seeing a lot of players have trouble with the Diablo fight. And I'm trying to figure this out. As an OG player, obviously, it was pretty much a cakewalk. And I do have a video I can show of that recorded of the particular fight and my experience as a solo run. Had no issues, obviously. And then, of course, to do the weekly party team-ups for the rewards, and that's still been a cakewalk. Even more so, actually, obviously, because you're in a party of 4, even though it does crank up it does scale the difficulty with more people, but still nonetheless. But what I'm trying to do is, I've been asking in Discord when I see these people pop up and complain about it, I'm like, can you let us know what your Paragon level is and what class you're on? And then I've gotten a couple responses so far, and I'm like, okay. And I basically screenshotted that personally myself, and what I'm going to try to do, this is going to take some time, mind you, because I have to play through the story on my alts, is on those classes they had mentioned, I want to try to stay as close anyway. My Demon Hunter, in a particular instance, from the one that person listed, they were really low. They were like 169, I think, Paragon, Demon Hunter. Honestly, for endgame Diablo, that's a little light. But what I'm going to try to do anyway is I have a Demon Hunter alt. They're about 200 Paragon or so. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to play through the story. I'm going to make an attempt at it and see how it goes for me and what my experience was. Granted, it's a alt that needs... all my alts are dusted. They're really, really terrible. Their secondary stats are, of course, because I haven't been keeping up with the normal gems on them, obviously, are going to be terrible. So, and their resonance is even just as bad. So, it's going to be an experience, it's going to be a time, but I want to see if I can pull it off and what builds work the best, etc., and then put them out for everybody to hopefully make note of and put out some guides, hopefully for that will help everybody. And also just for the challenge. Just for the challenge of it. I'm honestly looking forward to it when I have the time to set aside. Like I said, the family issues and everything this past holiday has been absolutely rough. Unexpected and unfortunate medical things that came about, close family, and it's been a time. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. I just wanted to put that out there at the end of this video. For anybody that has any interest in that, let me know as well. But as always, stay safe out there, everybody in the real world on fire. Take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. That's all we can do. It's the best we can do, for sure. Until next time, see ya.